Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday Live. Apologies for being late. Had a lot of technical issues, so hopefully this goes out without too much problems. I'm just trying to get my headphones sorted out. So hopefully you've had a good weekend so far. I can hear myself behind me. Let me just put this on pause. Yeah, so like I said, I had a lot of technical issues this morning. So let me just get my headphones sorted out and I shall be with you. If you got any questions, type it into the chat, but please put a Q semicolon. It makes it a lot easier for me to find it. Otherwise, it looks like a comment and I may skip it. Not by choice, just because there's a lot of you that type stuff in there and I may just miss it overall. So I can hear myself going out live. Now, let me see if I can see if I'm going out live. Let me just set my windows up and I shall be with you. Need this window. I can probably sit on here. Right, so it's going out live and I can hear it's going out live. So hopefully you guys can hear me and see me. So let's say hello to some of you that are here. JK, not seen you before, so welcome to you. I need help with fairy practice. You've got to tell me a bit more than I need help. Has a perception questions, which category? Just saying that you need help doesn't help me to help you. And since you're here live, type the questions or whatever you're struggling with. And then I can help you personally rather than give you a generic answer. Clifford, good morning to you. You are welcome. Abigail, my first time here. Again, need help. Help with what? When you guys say you need help, the fairy test is a little bit more than just needing help. Not the way I do it anyway. There's certain reasons why you are struggling. The more information I have about you, the more I can help you. Hence why I do the live session, so you guys can ask the questions live and then I can tell them my answer to you directly. But just saying you need help, the only advice I can give you with that is study. But if you want a bit more than that, type the questions in a bit more detail and I can try to help you out as best I can. I just need to make this bigger. For some reason, I can't see that clearly. Where's the middle? It's going to be one of those days I can't find the middle. All right, Alex, good morning. It's my first time here, so welcome, Alex. Again, I really need, wow, some of you really need help. I took my test last week and got 41. Right, hazard perception is fine. 60 out of 75. If you're getting 60 on the real test, hazard perception, you've nailed it. That's not a problem. 41 out of 50. You got 9 questions wrong, which is about 5 categories you would have got questions wrong in, give or take. So you're not far off with 41. You just need a little bit of tweaking. What I suggest you do is I'm assuming you took one test because you said I took my test last week. So I'm assuming it's only one test that you've taken and failed. What I suggest you do is look at the categories that you got questions wrong in, restudy those categories and go again. You're not far off, 9 questions. It just needs a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of understanding with that. But if you've taken more than one test and got 41, it's a bit more studying than that. Ruby, not seen your name before, so welcome. Oh, you do say first time, so welcome to you. Beverly, good morning to you. Revise, good morning. Well done to you. Passed your fairy test first time. 49 out of 50. You missed it by 1, the magical 50, but well done. And 62 out of 75. Wow. Really high scores. So well done to you. And thank you for coming to the live and let me know how you got on. I appreciate that. And you've been here quite a few weeks as well. So I love when the regulars are passing. Princess, good morning to you. Not seen your name before, so welcome. Ruby said first time, good morning. And my mock is 26th of November. I'm assuming you mean the real test is 26th of November. That's 4 weeks away, give or take. 7/14/21. It's about 4 weeks away, so you've got quite a few more Sundays. Again, if you guys got any questions that you want answered, cleared up, theory or driving, pull it into the comment section, but put a Q semicolon. It makes it a lot easier for me to see it. And then I'll bring it up on screen. Again, another person's passed their theory test. Congratulations to you. Appreciate again, letting me know. Learning to drive. Good morning to you. I've not seen your name before. Are you associated with driving instructor, PDI? Because that's a weird title to have for a YouTube avatar. For a learner. Anyway, A-Road TV, good morning to you. Candem, hopefully I'm saying that right. Good morning to you. I've not seen your name before, so definitely welcome. Augustine, I've not seen your name before, so again, welcome to you. 45, passed your theory test. Congratulations. You are welcome, and thank you for turning up to the live and let me know how you got on. Ernestina. Again, passed first time as well. Well done to you. 6 days ago, 47 out of 50, 60 out of 75. That's a perception-wise is brilliant. Well done. Congratulations. I appreciate you guys coming to the live sessions and let me know that you are passing. I need help with hazard perception. I do a hazard perception as standard now on the live because I get messages, because you don't know how many messages I get every single week. People struggling with the hazard perception. So I do a demonstration at the end of the live. So stick around after we do the 20 question mock test, which reminds me that's why you're here. So let's do the quick overview and then get this mock test started. Right, share screen. Multiple choice, 50 questions, multiple choice. You have to get 43 out of 50. The 50 questions is made up of 14 different categories. And you guys are still not understanding that. The questions are random. So the test is, whatever test you take is not the same as the person next to you. So if there's 10 of you in the room, it's 10 different tests going on. So they're random. That's the reason why I suggest you guys do the categories one by one, understand it. Because you don't know how your test is going to be made up, where one person may get 5 road signs, another person may just get 2 road signs. But 50 questions, 14 different categories, you have to get 43 to pass on that side of things. Time, you got 57 minutes to do it in. If you studied, no one really takes 57 minutes unless you've got a learning disability. But I would suggest you take the time that's required for you to get the pass rather than rushing it and getting a fail. With that, once you've done the questions, I will also add, because again, I'm still getting so many emails every week. I'm going to test the questions were worded different from the apps. The questions on the apps are sampled questions. I repeat, the questions on the apps are sample questions. So when you go for the real test, they're going to be worded slightly differently. And there may be questions that you've never, ever seen before, because the DVSA do not release those questions to the general public or to the apps. So you've got to take that into consideration as well. That's why I say understand the questions and understand the answers. So no matter how they word it or scenario they give you, it's going to be easy to work at the safest option. Hazard perception, which you guys are still struggling. 14 videos, 13 of them have single hazards. One of them's got a double. You need 44 out of 75. Your average across the board when you finish has to be 3 or more. If your average is below 3, then it's going to be a fail. You can't pass with less than a 3 average. Obviously, you won't know what your average is as you're doing it. But if you practice enough, you've got an idea what your scores are going to be. And some of you guys are getting on reading the messages. 60, 62, that's a really, really high score for the real tests. The average is about 47, 48. What you're looking for in terms of answers is safety. So the theory test, the driving test leads to safety and control on your driving test. The theory test is no different. They're looking for a safe outcome or a controlled outcome, depending on the question. Controlled outcomes is normally your first aid and your motorway questions, and most of the other questions are just literally safety. And like I said, control. So some of you, believe it or not, are asking for help, which you did. What I've done and what I've been working on is a 30-day boot camp, study camp. It's not called boot camp anymore. I used to do a boot camp over 5 days. So the doors are going to be open. This is what you're going to get in there. So it's 30 days. For those of you that need help, this may be for you. The doors will be opening not this week, the week after. The waiting list is open. So if you guys want to pass your theory test before Christmas, this is going to be ideal for you. What you get on the 30-day bootcamp is access to my live training sessions any day of the, well, Monday to Thursdays. Because it's 30 days, you can join anytime you want. With the bootcamp, you had to register. With the 30-day bootcamp, because you're in the group, you don't have to register. You can turn up. You've got access to the recordings until you pass. You will be tracked. All your training will be tracked and monitored by me. I'm going to hold you accountable. You're going to be registered on my Theory Test Pro account. I've got a driving instructor account where I can put pupils in there. I can see how long you studied for. I can see if you're studying, and I can send you messages. You can send me messages, and I'm going to send you a report every single week on your strengths and on your weaknesses. I'm not going to let you guys off the hook. I'm going to give you work to do. You're going to do the work. I'm going to monitor you. When you sign up, you're going to get a personal phone call from me so we can have a quick discussion on your strengths, your weaknesses, and when you're looking to book your theory test date, because technically you should book it within 30 days. If you don't do it within 30 days or pass within 30 days, not a problem. You still got access to the recordings, and there's a live community in there as well. And you'll have access to that, and we'll meet up once a week over a live session, and we just have a general conversation to see how you're feeling, how you're getting on. So I'm going to monitor you 100% across the board with this. So if you're interested, go to the website www.drivingtheoryuk.com, and you can read what you're going to get in detail, and you will sign up to the waiting list. At the moment, it's a waiting list. I'm only taking 20 pupils per month because I can only give my attention to 20 pupils. Because when I say I'm going to monitor you guys, I mean I'm going to monitor you guys to pass. And if you don't pass, if you do the work, as you can see, I'm going to pay for your next theory test. That's how confident I am with this, because my guys on my intensive driving courses are in there, but they do over 5 days and they are passing left, right, and center. So I can't see why you guys can't pass over 30 days. So if you're interested, sign up. When the doors open, you'll get an email to let you know when the doors are open before Joe Public does. So you get the chance to book your place, because like I said, once 20 places are taken, the doors are going to close until next year. And then I'll take the feedback back, improve it, the doors open, but it's going to be 20 pupils per month. That's all I can give my time to. So if you're interested, especially if you want to pass before Christmas, this may be for you. So what we're going to do now, let me just set this up properly, is do the 20 question mock test. As I said, I will do a demonstration afterwards of hazard perception. So those of you that are new, what we do is read the question. So when are you allowed to park in the parking bay for disabled drivers? So this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Please put the question number. So on number 1, if you think it's 1A, that's what you need to type into the chat part. If you don't put the question number, I can't show it up because there's a delay between me and YouTube and you and YouTube. So I want to make sure we're always on the question, the right question number. And if you've got any questions, put it into the chat and Q, semicolon, so I can find it. And then I'll answer it and we'll go through this together. And I'll show you little hints, tips and tricks of any difficult questions that come up. So type away. If you're getting 48 out of 50, has a perception 60, you are good to go. It doesn't mean you're going to pass the real test. Just take it into account because, like I said, the apps are sample questions. After a certain point, you start to memorize answers, not deliberately, just subconsciously. You start to memorize answers. But as long as you understand why the answer is what it is, then you're good to go. So hopefully, when you take your test, it's Tuesday. It's a good result. Come back next week. Let me know how you got on. Also, if you've got any questions, any doubts while we're here live, please ask away. Let's send you in there nice and confident. I wish you luck on Tuesday. Number 1. Oh, so much comments. All right, let's do the ones. One question ahead. I'm assuming you mean one because that's the only one we've done so far. Oh, you redone it. Okay. All right, most of you gone for D, so. Oh, someone's gone for a B. This is typo. Right, D. Let's take a look what B was first. Disabled. That's only for disabled people. When you have an advanced driver certificate, that's got to be a typo, surely. It's blue badge. You can't park in a disabled bay if you haven't got a blue badge. Why is a toucan crossing different from a puffin crossing? I've not seen that one before. That's weird. Oh, it's worded differently. Oh, interesting. Apps just trying to change their questions. I'm going to try to catch up with these comments. Let's take a look where we are. Right. Health talks. That's a long one. Health talks and lifestyle with nurse Vivian. I'm going to imagine you called Vivian, so let me call you Vivian. Good morning to you. And you passed your test. Thank you very much for coming to live. I've definitely not seen your name before, so welcome first of all. And thank you for letting me know that you've passed. Congratulations. No problem. You guys are welcome. Trudy. Past 48, 56. Silent. Yeah, definitely have not seen your name before. Thank you for breaking the silence, Trudy. Congratulations. So many of you have passed this week. Brilliant. Tiblets. I've not seen your name before. I do teach practical driving, but I do intensive courses, and I'm literally booked up until next year. Believe it or not, until February. Roblex Lover. I've not seen your name before. Good morning. This is again first time here, so welcome to you. Francisca. Good morning to you. Alexander. It's interesting you said that about setting the questions. Yeah, it's just interesting you said that. They're not. If you understand the questions, you don't fail. But yes, they do set the questions to make it difficult to understand. Let's put it that way. Patty, good morning to you. Right, let's catch up with the twos first, and I'll catch up with you guys. It's easy if I do this. Let me just do this. So I'm just gonna click on these comments so I can find them a lot easier. Just give me a sec. Right, here we go. Twos. I can find the twos now. Here we go. The last answer was a D as well, wasn't it? I think. And again, it's D's as well. Selena, I see your name there. How are you? How's the reversing going? I just saw your comment. Okay, you got the information, but how's the reverse going? Is there any improvement? 2D. Yeah, two can. That's what it stands for. Two can cross at the same time. They just worded that differently. But as I said, we were, as long as you understand the question and answers, you'll always get the right answer, no matter how they word it. I've not seen it worded like that before. What should you check before you start a journey in foggy weather? Dynamite Dave's 50 out of 50. Well done to you. The magical 50. Congrats. 57 out of 75. Getting high score on the has a perception. I wish you luck with the drive. Have you started your driving lessons? I wish you luck with the driving lesson, but well done for passing. And thank you for coming to the live and let me know. Because yeah, you did say silent viewer. Because I've not seen your name in the comment section. But congratulations. Not new, but first time sending a message. Welcome. Ooh, I've had my first rated last month. I thought it said last week. So I'm hoping that you studied 41, 9 questions wrong. I've been doing category questions from those on the sheet. Any other things I can do? No, you're doing the right things. 9 questions wrong, 5 categories, give or take. I restudied those categories. So the only thing I would do is, and you test this tomorrow. What I would try and do during this today is take a couple of mock tests and just see what your baseline score is, just to make sure you're getting the 44s, 45s, 46. It just gives you a baseline. It doesn't mean you're going to pass the real test, but at least it makes you sort of more confident with your knowledge, if that makes sense. That's what I'll do. Do a couple of mock tests, just make sure you're on point, and then leave it at that. I wouldn't do any more than that because your test is tomorrow. You don't want to overload the brain, especially because it's your second attempt. Ahmed, good morning to you. Let's catch up with the freeze. Is that the first one? There we go. I've seen a lot of new names in there, so I appreciate you guys giving up your Sunday morning to sorry, I'm just laughing at Selena's comment. Last lesson, let me put it on screen. Last lesson, I did it straight away and surprised myself. Well done, congrats. So now you know how to reverse. Bay Park, I'm assuming. Raman, I've just seen your comment. Let me come back to that. Sorry, 3C, common answer. Fog. Yeah. They can ask the same question and it's leave more time for your journey would be the other option. And that's what I said, if you understand the question, you know the options they can give you. Clean the windscreen and lights because it sticks to the lights and windscreen. And the other one is leave more time for your journey. You wish to turn right ahead. Why should you take up correct position in good time? Ruby for I wish to come with testimony of passing as a first timer. Yeah, like I said, I wish you luck with that. But yeah, please come back and let us know either way. Ahmed's got a test next week. I wish you luck with that. Veronica. Failed on my first attempt. Like I keep saying, if you failed on the first attempt, you got data. I know you're going to be a little bit upset with yourself, but you got data now. Take a look at that, see where you went wrong, and then restudy those categories. If you're in the 30s, I would suggest you go back to basics and do all the categories. But if you're in the 40s, 41, 42s, just look at the categories that you got questions wrong in. Last year, my practical test next month. Passed the theory test last year. Another practical test next month. Next month is December. With the waiting times and learning to drive, I suppose that's about right. Well, I wish you luck with that next month. That'd be a nice early Christmas present for you as well. Let me come back to that question. That's a show me, tell me question as well. Berry, good morning to you. What are you guys on? We're on 4. Let me do the 4s. First one, here we are. 4A and 4B. You guys are split on this. They got 4Bs and 4As coming up. Another A. The B's the majority, so all right, that's the last one. Let's take a look. What was it? A's and B's. A. To give a better view into the road that you are joining. No, because you're turning right, so you can't see into the road if you take it up early. To help other road users know what you intend to do. It's B. When you're turning right, let me see if I can do this on screen. Hold on 1 second. When you're turning right, you've got pavement there and you're turning right into the side road. And then you've got let's just put lines in the middle of the road. So as instructors, we say, turning right, you need to be left of center. If you do this, you can't see into the main road early. So that's why it's not A. By being to the right, everybody knows you're turning right because when you drive normally, you stay to the left a meter from the curb. But once you come to the right, that suggests you're turning right. That's the reason why the answer is what it is. And that's why I keep saying, if you can, do driving lessons while you're doing the theory, because then if you're doing driving lessons, this becomes second nature. That's what you should be doing anyway. But yes, B. Get rid of this. What should you do if the traffic in the left-hand lane is slowing? Right, what's the correct position of the driver's headrest? The driver's headrest should be your eyes, the standard answer is the eyes in the middle of the headrest or the back of the headrest level with the top of your head. And the headrest is stopping you from getting whiplash if the question comes up. It's not for comfort, it's for whiplash. But your eyes should be in the middle of the headrest is the correct position. My Beauty Palace, welcome back, I'm assuming, because you've been there before, sounds like it. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you're still here. Got that message out. Berry, good morning. Hope you're doing great. Hopefully you are well, Berry. I've not seen your name before, I don't think, or your avatar. So good morning to you. And Bruno, good morning. All right, any suggestion for ADI theory? Yes. 4-in-1 driving test success app doesn't change. Go to the settings and change it to the ADI theory section. Do not do the same as the learner drivers because the questions are slightly different. There's some driving instructor questions on there. That's what I would do. I would definitely look online as well because your theory test is totally different and not totally, but it's different, and your standard is higher. From memory, you need, it's 4 categories, A, B, C, 4 bands, A, B, C, D. You have to average 85 in each band and you need 85 overall. So it is possible to get, fail it, but still get over 85 overall. So that's what I would suggest you do. It's just same studying. And you're gonna need the highway code. You're gonna need to use books. You're gonna need the highway code because each session, the theory training helps you with your driving test, your driving instructor's driving test, and your driving instructor's test is going to help you with your instructor training, which is part 3. Part 1's theory, part 2's driving, part 3's instruction. You're going to need books. Highway Code, driving, I forgot the name of the book now. It's a massive thick book. Driving lessons or something for ADR. I can't remember what the name of it, but you need books. The apps alone is not going to do it for you. And I would suggest you get the road sign book as well. That's going to help you, but you also can show that to your pupils when you pass. So hopefully that helps. But your studying is more in depth than just the apps. Do not just use apps. That's my advice with that. Because if you do that, your driving is going to be weak. And then when you go for your instructor training, that's going to be weak. So I'm just trying to find the 5s. Are you doing the instructor training on your own? Or are you sponsored by a driving school? The theory you can do on your own, but I would suggest you get driving lessons for your instructor bit, because on your instructor bit, you can only take 3 attempts. So if you fail 3 times, you have to wait for your 2 years to be up, because you have to do everything within 2 years, and then you start again from the beginning. So I would definitely look to do driving lessons, because the driving standards is a lot higher than a learner's driving test. Just in case you didn't know. 5D. Got keyword there, it's got safe in it. You see a horse rider as you approach a roundabout. What should you do if they're signaling right but keeping well to the left? Adibola, I'm glad the videos is helping you with that. Thank you for letting me know. Appreciate that. Chris, I wish you luck with that. Please come back next week and let us know how you got on. If you've got any questions, Chris, while you're here, type it in. Let me answer it live. Adibola, congratulations on passing. Dynamite Dave. Hopefully the lesson goes well for you. Let us know how you get on with the lessons as well. How much time do I have to prepare for my theory test? As long as it takes. Everyone's different. Everybody's different. Some people are fast learning, some people are slow learning, some people need a lot of help, some people don't. So I can't answer that. I don't know you. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter, because if you, let's just argument's sake. So let me just do this first and I'll come back to that. Let me do this first, because that's why we're here. 6. Missing something. Is that the first one? Ambrose, good morning to you. I'm glad you're happy to be here. Hopefully you'll come back. I've not seen your name before, so hopefully your first time, I'm assuming, so hopefully you come back. And let's see that you guys are going for. Yeah, stay well back. Cyclists can go left or right at the roundabout. They would choose a lane that's safest for them. You need to use a defibrillator, AED, on a casualty. How will you know how to use it? Right, someone asked a question, how much time do you need to put in for your theory test? You put in as long as it takes to pass it, simple as that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you needed 10 hours to study. Just argument's sake, just call it flat 10 hours to pass. You putting in 14, 16, 20 hours ain't going to change anything. And I'll tell you why. Again, similar to what I said earlier on with the right turn, take up position early to turn right. The more time you put in now to understand it, you're going to pass the theory test anyway. The more time you put in now, you'll have more than enough knowledge to help you with your driving, which technically is going to save you a bit more time on your driving lessons, and it's going to save you money on your driving lessons. And it should put you in a better frame of mind, because your knowledge is going to be strong when you go for your driving test. So anytime you invest now for your theory test, it's only going to pay off on your driving lessons and your driving test. So you're not wasting anything. But if you had, again, argument's sake, let's say they said study for 10 hours and you do the bare minimum, you're shortchanging yourself on the next phase of your driving lessons and driving test, where it's going to cost you more. So just put whatever in that you have to put in to pass, because you're not wasting that effort. As I keep saying, that you guys are actually going to use this for your driving lessons and driving test. Like that question with the right turn about taking up the position early. Half of you didn't know that. But like I said, you didn't know that, and that's a theory test question, and that's what you do on your driving lessons. Alexander, I failed my test twice. I don't know why, because watching your videos has helped me a lot. There's only one reason why people fail. It's lack of studying. One reason. Two reasons why: lack of studying or lack of understanding. You said you're watching the video, so I'm assuming you're putting the effort in, but it's lack of understanding. And that's it. Some people think, oh, because they're failing on a regular basis, they're stupid. And like I said, I've done lots of research. That's why I've done the study camp when I was building it, to make sure I get you guys who go into the study camp overcome all of this. The questions are worded, someone said it earlier on, not necessarily designed for you to fail, but it's to test your understandings, the way they word it, and the answers can be one of two in some situations. So it's lack of understanding. That's all it is, Alexander. It's not because you're haven't put the work in, because you said you have from the sounds of it. It's just lack of understanding. That's all it is when it comes to the questions and answers. And let me just do this last one. Passed on the first attempt. Congratulations on passing. I can't pronounce your first name, but Bobu Sunday, I'll do the second name, surname. Congratulations. Thank you for letting me know, by the way. And we're on 7. Right, there's lots of comments I've missed, which I'm going to go back to. So if you have typed a comment, give me a little bit of time to find someone's got to be, and I'll go back and look over them just to make sure there's no questions in there. Francisco, welcome. Right, you guys are all gone for D. Oh, someone's gone for an A. Right, A, you must read. No, definitely not going to be A. It speaks to you. It says you need to use a defibrillator on the casualty. How would you know? It speaks to you and it shows you pictures on the screen. So verbally and visually. Yeah, there you go. Gives you visual and verbal. Very easy to use. You just have to be calm enough to be able to use it, because that obviously is a stressful situation. Another one. You're performing a cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, on a casualty. Someone stops to help. What should you get them to do? Right, let's go back through these comments. Good morning, Mark. This is my first time. Welcome. First time here. My exam's booked for the 19th. So you've got a couple of weeks yet. So nervous. Nerves is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Just don't let the nerves take over when you go in there. When my people say they're not nervous for theory test or driving test, it makes me worried. Why not? But nerves is a good thing. The adrenaline keeps you focused, as long as you don't let it overtake your mental state. Jesse, good morning to you. Ernestina, can I please get you as my driving instructor for next year? I'm in North London. Like I said, I'm fully booked up until February anyway, and I do intensive courses. I don't do weekly lessons or hourly lessons. I do a 5-day driving course. Dorian must... Sorry, Berry, is that a question? Dorian must be... Are you asking me, do you need to be in the same city for the intense driving course? No, you don't have to be in the same city, but it's going to cost you more, because what some people have done in the past is travel from wherever to North London, stay in the Premier Inn or one of them budget hotels for the week, and do it that way. I'm not the only instructor who do intensive courses. You're better off looking in your own area if you're looking to do intensive courses, and rather than do that, because also you're going to learn in the area that you're taking intensive course. I'm assuming you want to take the driving test in the area that you live, so you're better off doing it in the area that you know, and go from there. But for anyone looking to do intensive driving course, my advice to you is take a few driving lessons first to see if driving's for you, because driving's not for everybody. What I mean by that, yes, you want to drive, but the learning can be very, very stressful. The last thing you want to do is be in a stressful situation in an intensive course, because it's going to make you stressed and get anxiety and all the rest of it. So you have to make sure driving lesson is something that you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with it, then a weekly lessons is a better outcome for you. Sorry, what are we on? 8. You guys all agreed on this one, so it's all C's. That's the other reason why I say, so you are talking about, do you have to be, no, you don't have to be in the same city, you can travel, but you're going to have to take a residency there, because the last thing you're going to do, if you're 30, 40 miles away, is travel each day, because like I said, intensive is done minimum 4 hours a day. So it depends how that instructor or company sets it up. We do 4 hours a day over 5 days, so they do 20 hours, and then they do 2 hours with me in the evening on their theory training, because they have to pass their theory test by the end of the week to book their driving test at the weekend. So it is really intensive on 2 fronts. But yeah, I would look to do it in your own area. It makes life a little bit easier. 8C. Yeah, get them to, while you're doing CPR, let them get the defibrillator. What should you do when you meet an oncoming vehicle on a single track road? What should you do? Hannah, I'm interested. Boot camp. I'm winding down the boot camp because that is, like I said, it's over 5 days. So I'm winding that down. You're better off looking to do the 30-day study camp, because 30 days studying, you're going to get more of me rather than me over 5 days, 2 hours a day. You're going to get me for 30 days. So you're better off doing that. If you are interested, like I said, go to my website, www.drivingtheoryuk.com, or the link in the description. I'll put the link in the description of the video. Go in there, click on it. It tells you what you get at the moment, and then it will take you to the waiting list page. Sign up there, and then once the doors are open, should be next weekend, you'll get an email before the doors open to give you guys a first chance to bag the 20 places, and then it will go open to the public. But that's your better chance rather than doing the boot camp. And those of you that are in the boot camp, I know some of you are here, you will get, not necessarily upgraded, but you will get into the community, because they're going to be online community on Kajabi where the training is held. So you're going to be upgraded in that sense. You'll get access to Theo, which is the AI bot, which is going to help you with your theory questions and scenarios and everything else. So you will be upgraded, but you'll get an email about that when that time comes. So all you bootcamp customers, I'm not forgetting you. You will be kind of uplifted into the 30-day camp as well. So if you are interested in passing before Christmas, it's after the driving channel, drivingtheoryuk.com, or you can go into the description of this video and it's in there. The link is in there. Right, you guys are going for A. Stop at a passing place. Yes. What must you do when the amber light is flashing at a pelican crossing? I think I've caught up with the comments. So I'm just trying to, if I'm quiet, I'm just trying to catch up with the comments. You guys, there's 90 of you, 90 plus here. Oh God, I appreciate you guys getting up your Sunday morning. What are we on, 10? I'm getting there. Here we go, first one, 10. Sorry, I'm just laughing. Someone's got 11A when we're on number 10. So that's a crystal ball job there. A. Ambrose, you've gone for A. Oh, change your answer. 10C. Right, okay, let's take a look. Amber lights. Give way to pedestrians already on the crossing. For the driving point of view, you give way to pedestrians on the crossing, but on your driving test, if it's flashing amber and there's nobody looking to, no one's on the crossing, you go on the flashing amber. If you wait for the lights to go to green on your driving test, you may get done for undue hesitation. And that's why I say learn driving while you're doing the theory. Because if you follow the theory with this and there's no one there on the flashing amber, like I said, the examiner can mark it down for undue hesitation. A.O. Martin's passed the theory 31st Friday, that was, I think. So well done to you. Congratulations. Thank you for letting us know as well. Appreciate that. And last one, Neil. All right, let's come out of this. What should you do when you leave your car unattended for a few minutes? All right, let's catch up with these. Vivian, by a TikToker. I'm not on TikTok, so that's brilliant. That's great because I'm not on TikTok. Fell by 3 marks on both parts, but rebooked right away and kept learning. Went again the next week and passed. Congratulations. And again, I thank you for being here because, like I said, I've not seen your name before, so I appreciate you being here and sharing that story. Oh, wow. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. I'm a PDI going around again. Just want to say going around again. So that means at some point you messed up on your 3 attempts. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means so much, especially coming from a PDI, because you know what instructors have to go through. Yeah, I really appreciate that. 11. 11. Sarah, are you on part 1 now? As in doing a ferry again? Just out of interest. Why do you want to be an instructor anyways? Wow. I've been instructor for 30 years. So when I started, it was a lot easier. Roads were quieter as well. And you want to become into this mad profession at this time. C. Yeah, safety. Lock it so no one can steal it. You're driving towards a zebra crossing. What should you do if a person in a wheelchair is waiting to cross? I've not seen that worded before like that. Interesting. I've been watching your videos, but first time joining live. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully you learned something. Again, if you've got any questions, type them in, because you guys ain't asking questions really. Oh, saying that, just seen one from Learning to Drive. I'll come to that in a minute. And Janet's new, welcome. Learning to Drive. I studied with you for the theory here and on Discord. Any suggestions for my practical test? Not really, not that you wouldn't have already done with your instructor. The only thing I would say with your practical test is all the examiner wants to see is what you already done on your lessons. I always give my students and say to them, for the day of the test, do what you do the night before, just do what you do normally. If you normally go to bed at 10 o'clock, go to bed at 10 o'clock. If you normally have breakfast, because the body expects the fuel. If you don't have breakfast, then don't start eating stuff because the body's not expecting that. Just act as normal. And then on the day of the test, in any given situation, what I train my people to do on the lessons is ask yourself, is it safe to go? Give way lines, is it safe? Roundabouts, is it safe? What's the safest thing for me to do in a given situation? Because if you ask the brain a yes or no question, it will give you a yes or no answer quickly. And that's what you want on your driving test. What you guys do on the driving lesson is analyze it to death. Will they cross? Won't they cross? Is that guy going to let me go? The brain's analyzing that. And by the time it works it out, you're on top of the problem. So always try to put the brain in a yes or no situation. Reason, because the brain is designed to protect you. And if you give it a straightforward question, it gives you a straightforward answer to save you. And that's what you want to do on your driving lesson. So when I teach my pupils to drive, it's always, is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe? And then it becomes second nature on your driving test. And then you just keep calm and relaxed. So that's my advice for you. It's just ask yourself, is it safe to go at giveaway lines? What's the safest thing for me to do in this situation? Hopefully that helps. But other than that, it's just do what you normally do on your driving lessons. That's why you're there. The examiner doesn't want to see anything special. Just safety. And you're driving for you on the day of a test. Some of you look in the mirror and think, oh my God, I'm holding this person up. Oh my God, there's a queue of traffic behind me. So what? It's all about you. Or if you want to put yourself and say, I need to keep the examiner safe because he's the only one that's going to give me a license. If you don't keep him safe, then he's not going to give it to you. But stop worrying about other people outside the car. It's not relevant. Barry, I've just seen your question. I'll come to that in a second. Let me just deal with this. 12D, you guys went for. Yeah, be prepared to stop. You're in a one-way street and want to turn right. Where should you position your vehicle when there are two lanes? The reason I'm laughing because that comes up in the boot camp on a Wednesday, I think it was. And always get it wrong. They always get it wrong. And I'll give you a little tip for this when you guys answer it. Right, sorry, Janet. I think I've done that one. I did Bola. Hello, is there any possible you can help secure protocol? No, it's the same for everybody. We even struggle to get dates for our students now. The only way I can say to you is use some of the apps that's out there. Jump on the DVSA website different times of the day, morning, noon and night. You're probably gonna have to do it every day, to be honest, until you can find one. Monday morning is when the DVSA release new test dates, 6 a.m. So I'll get up at 10 to 6, 5 to, I'll be ready to log on at 10 to 6, 5 to 6, and make sure you've got your method of payment just in case, and driver's license and ferry test certificate with you. So you don't have to go searching for that. And then hopefully you can bag one of those. So every Monday, 6 a.m. But outside of that, it's just the usual stuff. Just keep looking because everybody's doing the same thing. Just want to say, first of all, I've not seen your name before, so congratulations, it looks like you passed it, and welcome. Would have got, see, it got a 0. He's got a 0 here and still got 57. Still got 57, and that's more than 3 on average. So that's well done to you. Congrats. Thank you for letting me know that you've passed as well, by the way. Appreciate that. Neil, I've not seen your name before, so again, welcome. Oh, it says first time. 26. Yeah, just keep studying. That's all you can do. Just keep going through the, I don't want to say motions, but keep studying, making sure you're passing the majority of your mock tests. You still may take mock tests and fail one here or there, but if you're failing more than you're passing, then obviously you're not ready. But just keep going. Just read the questions and answers carefully, come to the live sessions, and ask any questions while we're here live as well. So yeah, just keep going. You're doing the right thing. 26 is at least 3 weeks away, so you've got plenty of time. 12, 13. Learning to drive, you are welcome. Fifi, I'm fine. How are you? I've not seen your name before, so I'm assuming you're new. Welcome to you. One thing I've got to say about you guys this week is everyone's put in a number and a letter. Hello to you. So I appreciate that. Got my test on the 20. Another 26. Was it? Lot you got test on the 26. Hey, in the right lane with one-way roads, one-way streets. That I'll say to my students in the boot camp. You got to picture it as 3 lanes. They don't tell you it's 3 lanes, by the way, when you take your tests. But this one they tell you it's 2 lanes. So that's advantage. But with one-way streets and one-way road questions, always sit for 3 lanes because they don't tell you it's 3 lanes. But in this one, they tell you it's 2 lanes. Oops, I don't know why I did that. So obviously, if you're turning right, because it's got here turning right, let's do this again. Get this one up. You're turning right, so you want to be in the right-hand lane. So there's a link between the two. But I repeat, one-way streets. Motorways, dual carriageways, one-way roads, one-way street, you have to see it as 3 lanes. They don't always tell you that it's 3 lanes. So there's a little tip for you when you go for your test. What should you do when you're unsure whether it's safe to reverse your vehicle? Again, all questions that come from the boot camp. Sorry, I just saw Sarah's comment. She's got to go. Let me just see if I can find it. Good luck, Sarah, with your studying and your training. With that, appreciate being there, by the way. Right. Again, Faye Francis, thank you for being here, breaking the silence. I've not seen your name before. And again, another person who's got 0 but still passed it. As I said, you can get 0s on the day, but you don't want to, but you can get 0s and still pass as long as you average in 3 or more across the board. I'm assuming you're talking about the boot camp, Selena. Yeah, the feedback from you guys from the boot camp, I've taken on board and have made it into a 30-day study camp now. So I I appreciate you guys being in the study boot camp, by the way, and giving back your feedback. And I've taken it on board, and I think I've made it better, but only time will tell. I did my test on Friday, but failed 41, so that's 9 questions wrong. Hazard perception's fine, not a problem with that. Again, I would suggest studying the categories on that. Beauty Palace has passed first time. Congratulations. No problem. You are most definitely welcome. And if you've got any, I don't know if you're still there, but if you've got any questions about the instructor training and stuff, email me, and I'd like to help you out with that. Sorry, Barry, let me just do this. I've seen your comment. I said that before, but let me just do these 14s, and I'm gonna tackle your contraflow question. 14. If I can find them. There we go. Just like all of you have gone for A. Someone's gone for a B. Beverly gone for B. Let's take a look at B first of all. What should you do when you're unsure whether it's safe? Beep your horn. Horn is for warning of your presence, so you wouldn't do it here. It's get out and check. Again, what they don't tell you, if you break the question down, what should you do when you're unsure whether it's safe to reverse your vehicle? They normally word it differently. What should you do if you're unsure the area behind you is unsafe and stuff like that? What they're not saying to you is from the boot to down. So literally from the boot down. So it's not look in the mirrors or sound your horn. You want to get out to make sure there's no children playing hide and seek, no black bags, recycling bins behind you. If they don't give you get out and check, the other option will be ask someone to guide you. So that's the other option. If this is not there, it'd be ask someone to guide you, which is the other option. You're about to overtake a cyclist on a road that has a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. How much room should you leave them as you overtake? Now let me deal with Berry, because she's been waiting a little while. I kept mixing contraflow and with flow. Contraflow for the theory means going against the flow of traffic. So you have an arrow going down. So let me just see if I can do this on the screen. That's the wrong one. Let's get it over here. So you normally, let's do this. So you'll have the sign with the cars going up, and then you have a bus kind of here, and arrow going down. So that's contraflow. Contra means going against the flow of traffic. The other question that goes with this is where would you see it on a one-way street, one-way road? And if it's got no arrow underneath, it's with flow. So no arrow underneath the bus or the cycle, it's with flow. Arrow underneath is contra flow. That's how you tell the difference. Arrow, contra, no arrow, with. So hopefully that helps you with that. Doreen, I've been called worse. Another 26th of November. Is this special dates or something? Most of them I was giving out already. Just keep studying. Take a couple of them. I think I might have done this already. Just keep studying. Do mock test. Making sure you pass the majority of them. I wouldn't do mock tests back to back. Some of you think doing mock test after mock test after mock test, 3-4 in a row, is beneficial. It's not. You're doing more harm than good doing that way, by the way, as well. 15. Oh, A.R. Martins, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the super chat. And you are definitely welcome to the lives anytime. Ask any questions. I'm here for you. Appreciate that so much. I don't drink. I'm a teetotaler, but I love a orange tango. God bless you. Have a blessed Sunday. Are we on 15? On 15. And you're all gone for A. Right, I see why people do that. Okay, interesting. Let me just quickly explain, because when we do this in the boot camp on a Wednesday, that's what the answer is. So now I know why they always give this answer. At least as much room as you would if you were overtaking a car. When someone answers that on the boot camp, I always ask, how much is that? It's good saying how much room, give as much room as you should a car. Just in case, again, this is why you take driving lessons. The room that you give a car when on driving lessons is a meter. So it's a meter clearance is the answer that you want to be looking for in detail. Obviously, they don't give you that option here, but it's a meter's clearance. But you would know that if you're taking driving lessons. Now I know why in the boot camp they always give me this answer, which is really weird. But anyway, that's the answer based on this. But meter clearance is what you want to be giving a cyclist when you're driving on your lessons. What should you do if your vehicle pulls to one side when you use the brakes? And you are welcome with the information. As I said, if you guys got any questions, type it in while you got the opportunity to ask it live. Oh, just saw Sarah's thing. I think she's gone now. Failed part 3. Part 3 is the instruction as an instructor. It's a shame, got so far and they've failed on the teaching a pupil. She says she loves it. I love it as well, but I've been doing it for years. I don't know if I was to want to be an instructor to come into the profession now. I don't know if I would do that. I think I'm up to date with the comments. 16. So I'm just trying to find the 16s. Here we go. C. Jesse's gone for a C. Jesse changed it. That's fine. And this is why I suggest you read the questions carefully, read the answers carefully on the day of the test, just in case you misread it and misclicked, because you can always change your answer. D. Yeah, warm brake pads, so get them checked. What should you do when you're overtaking a motorcyclist on a windy day? Remember, if you've got a question, type into the comment section. Let me answer it before we sign out. My test, Striker. My test is 20th of November. My test is 20th of November. Or what are we talking about? Your driving test? Or I'm assuming that's a driving test if the earliest is February, because a ferry test surely can't be that far away. 20th of November is just around the corner. No, I'm 16, about 2 weeks away. So hopefully you're ready for that. I wish you luck with it. As if you're talking about driving test, but I can't believe a ferry test is so far away. Again, Jesse keeps going for the wrong answer, I think. The majority of you gone for A, so I've got to assume A is correct. Not seen your name before, O Vision. So I wish you luck with that tomorrow. Again, if you've got any questions before we sign out, ask away. No fairy test. Really? You're telling me your area doesn't have anything sooner other than February of next year for fairy test? It's crazy. But hopefully, I'm here next Sunday while you're studying. Write down any questions that you may have, any doubts, concerns. Bring it along. Let's send you in there on the 20th and get you passed so you don't have to rebook for next year. Yeah, pass widely. It's always going to be pass wide. A cyclist, i.e. a meter or more. How can you use your vehicle's engine to control your speed? Who are you to look out for at contraflow? When do you signal when you are going straight at a roundabout? I don't know with the first one. I don't know what context the question has been asked in. Because you said contraflow, you can have a contraflow bus lane, you can have a contraflow cycle lane. So I can't answer that. I'm assuming if they're asking that question just based on safety, it'll be cyclists because you ain't missing a bus, but you can miss a cyclist. So I've got to assume it's a cyclist, but I can't answer that without the context of the question. Because I repeat, you can have a contraflow bus lane, you can have a contraflow cycle lane. So I would have to say safety cycle because you're not going to miss a bus. In terms of the roundabout, there's no signal for straight on approach to a roundabout. You signal after the exit you no longer need at a roundabout. So I repeat, no signal on approach to a roundabout because there's no signal for straight. Once you pass the exit, you no longer need. That's when you would signal to come off a roundabout. And they're talking about a big roundabout, not a mini roundabout, because you don't signal to come off on a mini roundabout. Is it down to me to not just show me, tell me questions, or should my instructor? Your instructor should go over this with you because they need to show it on their car because the questions and answers are the same, but you need to know where the stuff is on their car. With my students, I do it on a Friday. It takes 5 minutes. So if you haven't done it yet, don't freak out because you can't fail your test for it. The worst case, you pick up a minor if you don't know the tell me questions. The show me question is done while the car is in motion. So the only way you can fail for that is if you lost control of a car, but that's a driving issue, not a question issue. So I always tell my students to jump on YouTube, type in show me, tell me. There's lots of instructors who've done the videos on that. The questions I repeat and answers are always the same. But what you want to do is keep the answer to a minimum. The instructor's not interested in a full blown out answer. He's just interested in the key points which your instructor should go over. But I do mine on a Friday with my students, and I always do it on the day of the test as well, because for some reason you guys freak out about show me, tell me, when that's the easiest part of the driving test. 18. But yeah, there's nothing, Selena, there's nothing wrong with you jumping on YouTube in advance and just get a heads up on that. But just like I said, don't learn it parrot fashion. The examiner's not interested in that. Just a basic answer. And also with that as well, if you don't, just say you didn't give him the full information that he's required, he will try to lead you to the answer. It's not ask, answer, mark down. He will try to lead you to it. The examiners are pretty decent at most test centers, by the way. I won't say all of them. But you can't fail your test for it. Beverly's gone for an A and I've seen Pure C's. take a look at how can you do it? By change to a higher gears, a faster gear. If you're going to keep control, you drive at slower speed, so it's not going to be higher gear. High gears, high number is faster. And what did you guys go for C? By change to lower gears, slow speed. So you'd use second gear to control your speed going down a hill, for example. You should never use brakes all the way down the hill. Which sign informs you that you're coming to a no-through road? Pantheria, welcome first of all. Good morning, during the past 49, you missed it by one, missed 50 by one. Multiple choice questions were worded differently, and hazards were different from the app. The hazards will always be different from the app because they're not going to show you the same hazard because you're going to memorize where the hazards are. The hazards are totally different with that one, and the questions will be worded differently. So thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people think, well, I keep saying it, but for whatever reason they don't listen to me, that the questions will be worded different. But congratulations on passing and getting 49 out of 50 and 55 high scores. Well done to you. I looked twice. I just find that weird because theory tests with us around, I'll say us around here, North London, when someone books their intensive course, we automatically book their driving test for the Friday, hopefully, or the Saturday. So we get dates pretty easily. And if someone fails their test on the Friday, the earliest they can take it on a Wednesday, they can normally get one. So I just find it weird. London's more condensed than Oxford. I think he said Oxford and Birmingham. And you got to wait till next year for a theory test. Maybe you got limited centres, I don't know, but that's crazy. But yeah, let's send you in there on the 20th and get that passed. And Berry's got hers on the 10th, which is next week. Next Monday week. So come back next Sunday. Any questions, last minute doubts, come back next Sunday. Let's send you in there Monday and get you passed. Set you up nicely for the new year. Take your driving lessons and get yourself sorted. 19. Someone's gone for a B. Right, you all agreed on this except one person has gone with the answers which no through road is C, no through road dead end. B. That's lanes. The right lanes. I'm going to show you something. Let me get my marker up. Believe it, on this one I said about understanding. This is lanes. This left lane, middle lane, right lane's closed off. This sign and this sign are the same. Believe it or not. This is T junction and this is a no through road or dead end. So it's C. The answer is C. Number 20 already. What's the time? Wow. Which type of crossings allow cyclists to ride across with pedestrians? Right, let's take a look. Yeah, show and tell me is the least of your problems. It's going to be driving always because you don't know what's going to happen on your test route. So I wouldn't worry about that. But like I said, the instructor will go for it. I always leave it to the end of the course because that's the least thing to worry about. George, which app is the current one with new questions? If you're paying for the app and it's licensed, all of them are. So whatever app you decide to use, if it's licensed by the DVSA, I'm licensed, so I can use their questions, their training questions, the driving test success, Ferry Test Pro, the DVSA official app itself. They're all licensed. So regardless of what app you use, as soon as a new questions come out, it gets updated automatically. So don't worry about it. Whatever app you want to use, don't worry about it. As long as it's paid. The free one is not sampled. It's watered down, but I'll go for a pay. It's $4.99, so £23 for a fail, $4.99 for a pass. So we've got to wait up. But yeah, all apps are licensed, so that's fine. I think I've done that one already. And we're number 20. Oh, I got the wrong one. 18 toucan. I would also add with this question, let me just finish these B's first and I can concentrate on what I'm saying. Congratulations again, Revise, and thank you for being here. Have a good Sunday. Enjoy. Stay safe, especially with your driving when it comes around. B. It says, which type of crossing allows cyclists to ride across with pedestrians? It just says crossing, so the option they're giving you here is toucan. If toucan is not an option when you take the real test, it would be tiger crossing, because it doesn't say light control. There's two types of crossing that cyclists can use with pedestrians, which some of you didn't even know. Take it. One is lights, that's your toucan. And the other one is pedestrian crossing, like a zebra crossing with a blank bit next to it, which would be called a tiger crossing, but it's not light controlled. But I repeat, if it didn't say nothing about lights, so that's why it's toucan. But if toucan was an option and it was tiger here, then it'd be a tiger crossing. But again, take driving lessons and you would know all of this stuff. How many of you knew about a tiger crossing? Right, so go back to what I said earlier on at the beginning, for those of you that was here at the start. Your ferry test is made up of 50 questions. It's made up of 14 different categories. This is a 20 question mock test. And we have 9 different categories. So this 20 question mock test was made up of 9 different categories, broken down in numbers: 2 for rules of the road, 4 vulnerable road users, vehicle handling 3, attitude 4, awareness 1, incident, accidents and emergency 2, safety in your vehicle 2, safety margins 1, road and traffic signs 1. And what most people study is road and traffic signs. But like I said, there's no guarantee you're going to get lots of road and traffic signs. That's why I said you study the categories individually, because if my weakness was vulnerable road users and attitude, that's 8 questions I can get wrong. If it's a 50 question mock test, I'm already down to 42 if my weakness was these 2 categories. So that's the reason why I say study each category in turn, fully understand it, and then move on to the next one, because you don't know how your questions are going to be put together. And like I said, most people on the ferry test always study road signs religiously, but there's no guarantee. The reason why they don't put a lot of road signs in on the majority of the ferry test, because you're going to learn to drive, which means you're going to see road signs anyway. There you have it. All right, let's come out of this and see what you guys are saying. Get rid of this. Never heard of a tiger crossing. Let's put this back up so you can see. Yeah, tiger crossing, zebra crossing. You can't tell me you didn't hear that, Celine, because we did that in the boot camp on a Monday when we did crossings. You probably forgotten, but it's in the boot camp. On the Monday when we did crossings, zebra, tiger crossing. Talk about it. Didn't. Thank you so much. No problem. You're welcome. All right. Hazard perception. So 14 videos, 13 of them have single hazards. One of them has a double, 2 5s. You're looking to score 44, 3 across the board. What you need to do is, just like the questions, you need to understand what a hazard is. So it's no different from the questions. You need to understand the questions, and you need to Zahira, I saw your comment. Let me just start that so I can find it. And there's not much to expand on. Sorry, let me put it on screen so people know what I'm talking about. There's nothing to expand on. It's a zebra crossing, which everyone knows, and it's got a blank space either side. That's where the cyclists ride down, and then obviously people cross on the black and white stripes. So that's a tiger crossing. If there's no side panel to it, it's hard to explain without an image. And like I said, I have the image in the boot camp. So if there's no side panel to it, you stop at the zebra crossing. I'll tell you what, let me hold on 1 second. I don't know if this is going to work because I'm not set up for this. Hold on 1 second. It's all about education. So let's teach. Crossings, where are you? Right, iPad. Yes, right, there you go. So zebra crossing. This is your standard zebra crossing that everyone knows. Zebra. I haven't got on the app, it doesn't show a tiger crossing, but let's get rid of this. If you've got a white kind of line here, when you stop, you'll be stopping here. So you're stopping short. That would now be a tiger crossing. If you haven't got anything where you stop at a zebra crossing, that's a zebra. Stopping back here where the line is, it's a tiger crossing. This is where the cyclist rides across. There's been another on it. Cyclists ride across that bit there. So that's what a tiger crossing is. So it depends on where you be stopping. So I'll repeat. If you stop at the crossing, that's a zebra. If there's a line here and you stop in here, it's a tiger crossing. As I said, with that question, it just said which crossing, blah, blah, blah. Didn't mention lights. So obviously it was a toucan. But if the toucan wasn't there and it was the same question, you're now looking for a tiger crossing as your answer. So that's what that would be. So hopefully that makes sense. Right, hazard perception, sorry. You need to understand what a hazard is so you can click at the right times. A hazard is anything that's going to cause you to slow down or change direction. So you're driving in the videos, you're watching through the windscreen. That's you watching the road if you're driving in real life. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted by the 20 still coming through. So these people are either way behind. Anyway, so you're driving, you're watching through the video. You should be scanning the road from left to right, right to left, pavement to pavement, because road signs are on the pavement, because you need to click on road signs as well. Now, if it's going to cause you to slow down or shift left or right, that's a mirror check when you're driving in real life. So that's equivalent of a check. That's the equivalent of a click. So when I'm teaching my students, I say problem, click, check mirror, problem, click, check mirror. And that's how it works. You need to see it nice and early. But to prevent yourself from getting a 0, you click twice because there's a countdown window. 5, 1. If you click anywhere here, it's a 0. So what you want to do if you click too early, click and you count 1, 2, and the second click should land in the 5 or the 4. That's why you go for 2 clicks. There is no benefit in clicking once, lots of benefits in clicking twice. So that's what you want to do. So I repeat, a hazard is anything that's going to cause you to slow down or change direction. I'll do a demonstration. Let me just catch up with these comments because they're flying in. Right, I've done that. Tiger crossing 1. Having lessons and my test is at the end of November. So we've got 4 weeks. Very scared. Nerves is, like I keep saying, nerves is a good thing, especially on the driving test. Just don't get too nervous that you can't think clearly. The examiner's going to park you up on the left a minimum 4 times, which is different gradients, uphill, downhill, level gradient, angle, start. Every time he parks you up, what you definitely want to do is, if you're doing manual, handbrake and neutral. Obviously, if you're doing auto, handbrake and park and chill. Literally, when he says park up, literally park up and just chill, take deep breaths. And then when he says drive and when you're ready, take deep breaths, give him what he wants, which is blind spot checks, and take your time to drive off. So each time he parks you up, that's the time to just calm down and chill out. But like I said, nerves is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You just got to make sure you control it. Dart summer. 61 out of 75 is a high score, 47 out of 50. Congratulations, because you've been here quite a few Sundays, so I appreciate you coming and let me know how you got on, and congratulations on passing. Well deserved. No problem. You're welcome. Luscious Love is sorry that they're late, but good morning to you anyway. How do you know if a hazard is really developing? You don't. That's the whole point. They're training you to check your mirrors, which I'll show you on the test sheet in a minute. But you go on to say, I tend to click a lot of times due to also clicking at potential hazards. If you mean you're clicking a lot of times and it's costing you, as in you're clicking in an unacceptable manner or cheat detection, I think it says now, you're clicking on the wrong stuff, or you're clicking 3-4 times for one problem. That's what that means. Like I said, if you click on things that exist, it can't be too many times. But if you're clicking on things that don't exist and 3-4 times per problem, then it can add up to too many. But I'll show you in a minute in the demonstration. That was the last one. All right, let me quickly do this. I like to do this every week. Let me just clear this sheet. So hopefully it's not frozen. Yes, it has. Let me just unclick it. Right, so this is the test sheet when it comes back on the screen. So that's your test sheet. So the show me, tell me questions, which was asked earlier on, I think it's by Selena, we'll go into box 11, which is on the far left. That's your control side. Your theory training is box 17, traffic lights, road markings, traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, traffic controllers, and other road users. That's your theory test right there. Positioning, normal driving is stay to the left, meter from the curb, would be box 23. We just spoke about toucan crossings, tiger crossings, and that goes to box 24. So as I said, all of this is going to be used while you are driving. And then we just spoke about positioning. You're going to get parked up on the left minimum 4 times by the examiner. And I said to you, you stop, make sure you go handbrake neutral, take deep breaths, and that would be box 25. So every time make sure you go handbrake neutral, take deep breaths, and that would be box 25. So every time he asks you to park up, he's seeing if you park up somewhere and controlled. So that's your theory right there. And then there was a question on there about, you're on a single track road, what would you do if a car's coming, blah blah blah. For those of you that was here for that one, passing place is where the answer was. That's what we call a meeting situation. So if you look at box 22, oops, keep it still, meeting situation. And there's another one about a cyclist, give a cyclist enough room as you would a car. And I said to you, it's a meter clearance, and that would class as overtaking. As a learner driver, you don't get much chance to overtake in the true sense of the word. So there's class passing buses and cyclists, anything that's stationary as overtaking. So if you're passing the cyclist, give them enough room, blah, blah, blah. If you don't, that's the box is going to get marked in 22, judgment. So hopefully you can start to see how your theory test is being used across in your driving test. I keep freezing for some reason on screen. It's really annoying. But hopefully it's still going out live. So that's the theory test. Now we come to the hazard perception part, which, as I said, is your mirrors. So box 14, before you signal, before you change direction, change the speed. That's when you should be checking the mirrors. And as you can see now, box 14 is a massive section for your driving test. The most faults, just in case you guys didn't know, to pass a driving test is 15 minors or less. You can't get any S's and no D's on your driving test, but you can only get 4 minors. These lines here that I'm putting in now are minors, which means you can still pass your driving test with them, but you can only get 4 minors in one box. On the 5th one, it becomes an S, and you can only get 15 across the sheet. If you do your maths with the mirrors, 3 times 4 is 12. You're not going to get 12 mirror faults and pass your driving test. In 30 years of teaching, not that I want it, I've never got pupil with a lot of mirror faults and still pass a driving test. Your mirrors has to be strong. That's why the introducer has perception. So now you know what a hazard is and why you're clicking. Let's go off and do one. So I'm going to come out of that. I need to go to my phone. So let me just quickly double check to make sure. Let me see what Hannah's saying. I keep something 38 below. What am I not doing? Not understanding. If you're getting 38, it's lack of understanding. You could, what you guys are failing to understand as well, just because you do a lot of mock tests, it doesn't mean you're going to get a decent score. If you don't understand the question, when it's worded differently, you're going to get it wrong. It's just fact. Just because you get it wrong, this is what most of you are doing as well. You get a question wrong, and the app tells you it's wrong, and then what you do, just look at the right answer and think, I'm going to remember that for next time. But what you haven't done is told the brain why you got it wrong. That's the key. So when you get a question wrong, it's not about going to the right answer. That's the wrong way of doing it. The right way of doing it is right. The answer, I got it wrong. Why did I pick the answer I picked? Did you miss some obvious clues in there? And then once you work out the why, then you go to now the correct answer to reinforce why it was the right answer. But you guys go from wrong. Oh, the app says this. I'll do a real life clip. The other thing I will say, when you go for the real test, it is all CGI. On your apps, there's a combination of CGIs and real life clips, but the CGI ones is what you really want to focus on. Right, let's pick one with no stars. This one, number 7. Let me share my phone first. That would help. So I'm doing number 7, no stars. It's got to download as well. Continue. So always look in the distance from left to right, right to left. There's a bend. I can't see what's around the bend. Oops, clicked too many times on that one. Again, signposts are on the left and the right. That's why you want to look from pavement to pavement. A horse. I think I messed up on that one totally. Never mind. If you mess up, you learn from mistakes. You learn a lot more about yourself as well when you mess up, especially for driver lessons. When you make a mistake, you learn a lot more about yourself than you do car coming out. Then getting everything right all the time. Again, there's nothing in the distance. Oh, got 5 out of 5. Right, let me just show you that. 5 out of 5, so no cheating. I remember I downloaded the clip as well, so I've not seen it before. And always review it back to see if you can improve on your hazards. So let me just fast forward this if I can. So let me just rewind that back a bit. I could have clicked on the sign because triangles are warnings. So it's warning me of horses. I didn't even see it, to be fair, because I was talking too much, because then I would have looked at for horses. So there's the horse. There's my first click, and there's my second one. So the first one was in the 5. Let me just rewind it back so you guys can see it. The first one was in the 5. and the second one was in the 4, they'll always give you the highest mark. That's why there's no benefit in clicking once. See a problem, click 1, 2, and then click again. And that's how you want to be doing it. So hopefully that makes a bit more sense for those of you that are struggling with that. Let me, no problem, you're welcome, Beverly. Again, no problem, you're welcome. All right, there's no questions on that. So let me do a CGI. So the quality is crystal clear. And based on feedback on the original, when you go for the real test, it is slightly slower based on the feedback from the students that go in there and take their test. Don't know why I come out of that. CGI. Okay, let's choose one with no stars. Let's do this one. Don't recognize that. It says slow on the floor. So ask yourself, why is it saying slow? Look in the distance. Or something's in the road up there. I'm going to go for a third one because I think I messed up on that. So the sign on the floor told me to slow for a reason. Look for the reason. Again, looking in the distance from pavement to pavement. All the cars are on the other side of the white line. If there was over the white line, I would think about clicking because it's reducing my space. So example, that van on the left is parked up. But if a car was coming down, I would think about clicking. Zebra crossing, I'm going to click on that. That's interesting. So which one's is that a double? Oh, 5 out of 5 on form. So again, 5 out of 5. I don't know which ones I had, whether it's a zebra crossing or the animal in the road. Always review it as the animal. Always review it back. See how you can improve. So just about got a 5 on that. The second click's a 3. I went for 3 clicks because I thought I messed up. It's about getting a score. I'm going to rewind it back. So there's 1 click. There's a second. I thought I messed up. I clicked again because even if I did mess up, at least a 1 is adding to my total of 44. So it's about you getting a score. It's no point thinking, oh, I messed up and don't click and get a 0. You want to get 1s and 2s because they will add up to your 5s and 4s. That's what it's about. So the other one wasn't a hazard. It was a hazard, but it didn't give me a score. There's no score for it. So it was a single hazard on that. But like I said, in real life, when you do the real test, you still need to keep clicking because you don't know which one's your double. So let me come out of that and see what you guys are saying. The hatch markings on the road is to separate or protect traffic, if that's what you're talking about. And the other question that goes with it on the theory test, are you allowed in the hatch markings? The answer is yes, if it's safe and necessary. So the hatch markings protects traffic, so you're never going to meet. Thank you, appreciate it. You're welcome as well. So there's no other questions about the hazard perception. So I'm assuming that makes sense. I repeat, you guys are studying at home. There's nothing wrong with trial and error. Practice your clicking. So if you're getting 0s, not getting the 44s, it's at home. It doesn't count. What you're trying to do is, I hate using the word, but you're trying to perfect your art. That's all you're trying to do, is master the click. So when you go for the real test, it's second nature to you. When you're doing questions, you are going to get questions wrong because you're learning. When you learn, you have to make mistakes. Same thing with your driving lessons. Making mistakes is not a bad thing. Freaking out about it is. And then when you make a mistake with the questions, ask yourself why you chose the answer you chose, because you need to understand why you went for that answer, so the brain doesn't pick it again. And then look at the correct answer and then try to work out why the answer is what it is. That's where the understanding comes from. And when you understand, you don't make the same mistake twice, and then your score will improve. And that's how you get to your 45s, your 46 and higher. But what you guys are doing, like I said before, question, got it wrong. The app tells you X. You just say, right, I'm going to remember that for next time. You haven't learned anything from that. So that's what you want to be doing. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. You are welcome. So on that note, I really enjoyed this session, even though I had technical issues at the beginning. So I apologize for being late, and I appreciate you guys being here and giving up your Sunday. For those of you got tests coming up, keep studying, and I wish you the best of luck with that. Those of you are studying for your test in the future, write down any questions, any concerns that you may have. Bring it across to the live next week. Let's answer that, make you more confident. And remember, if you guys want to pass your theory test before Christmas, don't forget the waiting list of the study camp is now open. I'm only taking 20 students on when the doors do open. This should get you passed before Christmas if you do the work. If you do not pass, I will pay for your next test. That's how confident I am if you do the work. So if you're interested, you can sign up. There's no commitment, just sign up for it. Waiting list. So when the doors open, I will send you an email so you can book your slot before it goes out to Joe Public. It's only 20 slots per month because I am going to give you my time directly, individually to help you pass. So I'll be talking to you on a constant basis so you do understand the questions. But outside of that, have a good week. Have a safe week, regardless of what you do. But stay safe so I can see you guys next week. Enjoy.